Cardinals. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts today at 1240 R, the home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's noon. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Tuesday, July 7th. I'm Jessica Ty. Your top story, a death investigation after a car fire.
I'm Neil Doyle in for Greg Matzik. Day 2 to determine if the trial will go forward.
Sunny and warm today. It is just lovely outside. High of 81 near the lake, 87 inland. Clear and nice tonight, 67 degrees is the low. We're currently sitting at 80 degrees in downtown Milwaukee with just a few clouds out there. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, a person found dead inside a burning car on Milwaukee's north side. Fire crews responded late last night near 21st and Concordia. Investigators say the car was reported stolen out of Milwaukee. Police are now investigating what exactly led up to the fire and who the victim is. They're also searching for suspects.
Milwaukee's Historic Preservation Commission approving demolition of Lincoln Avenue School on the city's near south side. The school was heavily damaged by a fire last week. The cause still under investigation. Milwaukee Public Schools has not yet announced where students and staff will attend classes when the new school year begins.
Milwaukee police are expanding public access to crime and public safety information.
The department has launched 2 new online dashboards. The arrest dashboard shows arrests made over the past 6 months and lets users search by offense, arrest type, date, and zip code. The calls for service dashboard tracks police responses over the past 60 days and can be filtered by neighborhood, police district, and call type. Police say the dashboards are designed to improve transparency while protecting victims' privacy and are now available on the department's website. Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
The man accused of shooting Charlie Kirk last year back in court for day 2 of his preliminary hearing. Prosecutors expected to present more law enforcement video and a recorded statement from defendant Tyler Robinson's roommate. News Nation's Nancy Liu is at the courthouse.
Because of the sensitivity of the case, many of the videos and photos shown in court can't be viewed by the media or the public. Judge Tony Graff visibly flinched while watching some of that footage. Now, the intensity of the images and the testimony, quite clear without us watching the videos. Erica Kirk and some of the family members, they actually had to leave the courtroom a few times yesterday.
Tyler Robinson is charged with aggravated murder. It was the assassination happened in September of last year of the conservative activist at Utah Valley University. He has not yet entered a plea.
President Trump is in Turkey today for the 2-day-long NATO summit. He's expected to push European allies to pay more for their own defense.
Why are we spending hundreds of billions of dollars and they're not there for us? We've always been there for them.
Leaders at the summit are also expected to discuss drone and aviation contracts and a pathway to peace between Ukraine and Russia.
Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. All 3 major indexes slumping a bit today. The Dow off 164 points at 52,891. The NASDAQ down 173 at 25,947. And the S&P 500 is down 21 points at 7,516. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com.
The Brewers making some moves today. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 12:04.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? At Milwaukee Weight Loss, we know the secret. Our doctor-developed, easy-to-follow weight loss program helps you lose weight fast, naturally and safely, and with no drugs or injections with risk of serious side effects, no prepackaged meals, bars, shakes, and no exercising required. Our program helps reset your metabolism so you can keep the weight off for good with a coach for ongoing support. Our program costs up to half as much and works up to twice as fast as most other programs. Go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com to schedule your free consultation.
Many of us struggle to lose weight. I use Milwaukee Weight Loss to lose the weight I've wanted to lose for a long time. And the great thing is I've kept it off now for over a year. Lost 45 pounds last year, another almost 10 pounds this year with a goal of losing maybe 10 more. For a limited time, get $200 off of their summer special. Book your free consultation at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. I can do it. You can do it. We can all do it. Let's lose weight together. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
Wet basements and foundation problems? For over 20 years, Accurate has been the Fix-It Show's trusted experts in foundation repair and waterproofing. Whether it's cracked walls, drain tile issues, or water in your basement, they've got you covered. Don't wait until the problem gets worse. Call Accurate Basement Repair today at 414-744-6900 or visit AccurateBasementRepair.com. They're not just good, they're accurate.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano talking with Dr. Mike Nolte at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Doc, a lot of people are hesitant to visit a surgeon for spine care.
The good news is that the vast majority of patients that I see and the majority of conditions that I can see can be successfully treated without surgery. And I don't want patients to think that just because you're seeing a spine surgeon means that you're going to be signing up for surgery. We talk about in my clinic kind of a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C.
Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. orthowisconsin.com.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. Doubleheader today in St. Louis, but the Brewers making some moves ahead of today's games. They are calling up their number 4 prospect, 21-year-old Luis Lara, now on the active roster. Blake Perkins option to Nashville. Robert Gasser also being named the 27th man on today's roster for the doubleheader. He's scheduled to start Game 2. Brewers came from behind last night, beat the Cardinals in Game 1, 4-3. David Hamilton did tweak his left hamstring while running the bases, had to exit. A bit of an update this morning from manager Pat Murphy.
We have to first get an MRI and see where David's at, and then have some guys already here. So one can go on the taxi squad maybe, and then one can replace David if needed.
Still no official word yet on Hamilton's status, and Jacob Mizorowski will take the mound for Game 1 today. A lot of baseball at Busch Stadium. All of our coverage coming up at 12:40 here on WTMJ. And the U.S. soccer team officially eliminated from the World Cup. They fell last night to Belgium 4-1. U.S. now joining Mexico and Canada on the sidelines. All 3 host nations knocked out of the tournament in the round of 16.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We do have an issue in Milwaukee County. This is in a busy spot as well. Heads up, there's a crash at Capitol and Mayfair. I've been taking a peek at it for about 20 minutes here right before the show, just as I was getting ready for the show, seeing what's going on out there. Boom, you've got this crash, and it was a bit of a mess. It's getting a little bit better. But right now, this is at Capitol and Mayfair. I do still see numerous emergency responders out there. Some have already left, though. It looks like 1 fire truck is leaving as we speak. Before, there were 3 fire trucks out there. There was an ambulance as well. This is at the corner with a gas station. So what we have now, it looks like they are about to open things up. This is a crash at Capitol and Mayfair. I do see some emergency responders still out there, but it looks like they are starting to reopen the lane. So hopefully the next time we check, it will be clear. But in the meantime, heads up if you're traveling through right now. There's a crash at Capitol and Mayfair.
Traffic is sponsored by TaybackAttorneys.com. Veterans benefits denied? Call Tayback for the payback. Tayback Law fights for those who fought for us. If you're a vet and have been wrongfully denied the VA benefits you're entitled to, call Tayback for the payback. TaybackAttorneys.com.
Plenty of sunshine. It is certainly a nice Tuesday for us. Highs getting up into the mid-80s in some spots. Tonight then clear with a low down to 67. Partly cloudy throughout the day Wednesday. Warm and humid. We could see some showers and storms late with a high around 88 degrees. Rain and storms likely then on Thursday with a high of 84. Then partly cloudy. Still the chance for some showers Friday with highs in the upper 70s. In Milwaukee, it's 81 degrees.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Jessica Ty, and in for Greg Matzik, it's Neil Doyle.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. We have a shorty for you today. That's what I'd call it, a shorty.
It is a shorty.
A short show. Because the Brewers, they've got a long day ahead. Doubleheader today.
Going to be a lot of baseball.
Well, let's get to it.
It's now at noon on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Just in, a Milwaukee man gets 15 years for supplying the fentanyl that led to a deadly overdose in Fond du Lac. Today, a judge sentenced Don Odin to 9 years behind bars, followed by 6 years of extended supervision. Odin was convicted of second-degree reckless homicide in the death of a woman found dead in her apartment last year. Police say he sold drugs under nicknames. He was known as Hollywood or Wood. Investigators say DNA recovered from the fentanyl bag found in the victim's pocket was 1 trillion times more likely to belong to Odin than anyone else. Fond du Lac County District Attorney Eric Toney says the sentence is a small measure of justice for the victim's family, but also a reminder that his office will continue targeting dangerous drug dealers.
A controversial computer research facility has now been removed from the proposed redevelopment of the former Walmart at the Midtown Center. Comes after weeks of public opposition. Alderman Mark Chambers announcing yesterday that the developer has agreed to eliminate the computing facility from the project. Now, that proposed facility had drawn significant criticism from neighbors, raising concerns about its potential impacts on the environment, also questioning whether it was the right fit for that community. The controversy also prompted the Milwaukee City Plan Commission to postpone a vote on that redevelopment proposal last week, and that was after hours of public testimony. Here's Department of City Development Commissioner Lafayette Crump during that meeting a week ago.
Capitol Heights, Deneen Park, Grassland Manor, Lincoln Creek, Roosevelt Grove, Sunset Heights. None of them deserve to have this site remain vacant and blighted for another 10 years.
And that's a main reason city officials have been pushing for this project. The site has been vacant for 10 years now, and they want this project to move forward. So Alderman Chambers also acknowledging that removing this computing facility could reduce potential tax revenue for the project, but said now this revised plan is a better vision and kind of reflects what residents want in that area.
And we'll see what happens next. The older you are, the more likely you are to trust other people. That's one of the biggest takeaways from a new Marquette Law School poll just out today. Researchers found trust steadily increases with age. Just 17% of adults under 30 say most people can be trusted. Just 17% of adults, Neil.
I mean, that doesn't surprise me. Is that because of social media?
There could be so many reasons. And here's the thing. As you look at the ages, the number climbs steadily with age, so reaching 62% among people 70 and older. The poll also found trust is linked to happiness and community involvement. People who say they trust others are more likely to volunteer, participate in civic groups, and report being satisfied with their lives. Researchers say the findings raise an important question. Is trust something people gain naturally as they age, or are younger generations fundamentally less trusting than those who came before? It is a question to ponder today, Neil.
Makes you think a little bit.
MU researchers say they'll keep studying it. It is 12:13 on the dot as we speak. Up next, we're going to get you ready for that doubleheader for the Brewers today.
It's a winning explosion at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. This July, Winplosion rockets in, bursting with $300,000 in cash and reward play. For your shot at winning, just play with your rewards card. Then join us for the Thursday night prize drawings. Plus, every Winplosion entry also counts toward the big WinFest Grand Finale in September. It's Winplosion. Big bang, big bucks. Only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
If you've ever worried about your heart, if you've ever loved someone with heart disease, if you've ever wondered if you're the one at risk, let's remind ourselves that we are not powerless. Because at the Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network, we're pushing to outsmart heart and vascular disease by working with you personally to understand your history, assess your risks, and guide you to heart strength. By digging deep with tireless research and offering access to leading-edge clinical trials. And for the most serious conditions, including heart failure, heart valve disease, arrhythmias, and vascular diseases, we provide renowned expertise and the most advanced life-saving procedures you expect from academic medicine. So let's get out in front of heart disease. Let's outsmart it. Let's keep pushing so that every one of us can outrun it and embrace every beautiful day life in Wisconsin has to offer. To learn more about our nationally renowned heart and vascular care, visit froedtert.com/heart.
I started our landscaping company, Brett Ochtenhagen's Seasonal Services, in 1994. We have other businesses, a trucking company, investment properties, and we board and raise quarter horses. I met Chris from Horicon Bank over 20 years ago, and we really hit it off. A few years back, we made our largest capital commitment ever. Chris understood our vision, supported it, and 5 years later, our annual equipment maintenance costs are down, and our fleet is amazing. Chris and Horicon Bank helped make that happen.
Horicon Bank, together doing good for 130 years. Member
The Cardinals down in St. Louis. First game coming up at 1:15, exactly 1 hour from now. Second game, 6:45 tonight. The best beat writer around, Adam McCalvey of Brewers.com, is sliding into our 12:15 time slot because we'll be off to baseball by the time his usual slot hits. Great to have you early, Adam.
Yes, I'm fully caffeinated for this long day.
Yeah, you're going to need it. Hey, the Milwaukee Brewers, they made a significant decision with one of their top outfield prospects today. They promoted Luis Lara from AAA. How important is this move, and how much potential does Luis have?
Well, he has great potential because he's having an absolute breakout season. He's a switch hitter. He's 5'7", so I'm kind of the smaller side, the kind of player that Pat Murphy always seems to love. And he's been thought of as like a defense and speed guy in the past years in the Brewers system. But this year he's taken this like gigantic step forward in the power department and just general offensive production and become a real all-around threat. He earned a long contract extension last month, a deal similar to the one that propelled Cooper Pratt to the big leagues at shortstop. And here he is. The thing they'll have to figure out is how to fit him into the outfield rotation, because unlike Pratt, who kind of came up and just got plopped at shortstop, the Brewers have some players producing in the outfield right now. Churio, Garrett Mitchell, and Sal Frelick all had really nice months of June. So they're getting good production, and they'll try to squeeze Lara in. The fact he's a switch hitter makes that a lot easier because you can pick spots that make sense. So they'll figure that out. Good problem to have. And as Pat Murphy said, it kind of solidifies them a little further in the outfield.
Well, and you hit it on the head there, Adam. I already saw fans all over social media. Well, this is exciting, but right, how do you plug him in? So is that maybe kind of surprising as well with the production you are getting from outfielders currently that they decide to bring him up at this point, or was this maybe kind of always the plan?
It is surprising. I mean, when David Hamilton tweaked his hamstring last night, he's been a big part of the third base rotation. I thought Jet Williams, right? He's another top 100 prospect the Brewers have, who's playing at Nashville, who's been hot lately. I immediately thought of him. The difference, Lara is on the 40-man roster by virtue of that contract. And there is, that's kind of a boring part of the game that fans don't always care about, but it is something that the GM and his staff have to consider as they move pieces around. When you're on the 40, that makes it a lot easier to call you up because it doesn't mean you subtract somewhere else in the organizational depth. So that helps Lara. And look, he's such a likable kid. He's from Venezuela. He said his first call was to his mother. And you can imagine a young 21-year-old from Venezuela who loves baseball. This is like the ultimate dream come true in a season that's been one big dream come true. I mean, I asked him when he reported to big league camp whether he could foresee anything like what's unfolded in the last 5 months. And he said no. I mean, he just wanted to come up and play his game. He's the kind of talented player with the types of tools and plays like Brewers kind of baseball that if he's just himself, he's going to have success and fit. But even, a confident young man couldn't foresee all the life-changing things that have happened in just 5 months. So it's a cool story and a player who's really appreciative of it. He said he just wants to come up and contribute and continue to get to play this beautiful game. So he comes in with a really good attitude.
I was thinking about his family today when I looked up where he was from, because I thought he was from Venezuela, and I'm still thinking about all those families over there. The death toll from last month's earthquakes has now surpassed 3,500. Is most of his family still there? Because I'm thinking about, as you were talking about him calling his mom, if his mom's over there, that must be just this one huge bright spot in such a tough time.
Well, I'll have to check my geography, but I don't think his family was impacted. And fortunately, the families of William Contreras and Jackson Churio and Angel Zerpa, the injured Brewers reliever who's also Venezuelan, their families and friends who are all unscathed. But as Churio, I think, really eloquently made clear on the last homestand, just because your immediate family is okay, it doesn't mean you're not shaken by what you've seen happening in your country. And credit to Churio and Contreras and other Brewers players for doing what they could do and getting involved in that, that drive in Milwaukee to get supplies and food and money, frankly, to send down to Venezuela to help aid those recovery efforts. I mean, William Contreras described kind of the helpless feeling where you feel like you should be somewhere else. You know, he knows he has a job to do here. He knows he has to focus on that. But, you know, when you feel like your country needs you, your community needs you, and you feel like you should be somewhere else, that's an uneasy feeling that those players have kind of had to deal with in the last couple of weeks.
Adam, you mentioned David Hamilton earlier, kind of tweaked that hamstring last night. Any update? I know you asked Murph about it last night, but anything today kind of on his status?
Well, he had an MRI at 10, and they're still waiting for the results of that. I think Pat Murphy's outlook was, when you're a player like David Hamilton, where speed is so much of your game, it's not a 1 or 2 day thing. Even the lightest hamstring issue is going to be longer than that. The question they have to determine is whether it's, 15 days and an IL placement, or whether it's 5 days and maybe you try to get by with what you've got. The issue becomes they do not have a lot of infielders at this point on the roster. So Andrew Vaughn kind of becomes your backup third baseman, which he's done, and he's played there and been fine. But I'm not sure you would want to go a long time with Andrew Vaughn and then Sal Frelick as your backup. So we could see some weirdness in the doubleheader today, but I guess that's par for the course. When two teams play 5 games in 4 days, you often see some players in odd places, so we'll see what we get.
Weirdness in a doubleheader. That just sounds interesting. We'll take it. Hey, that comeback win against St. Louis last night helped the Brewers reach an elusive franchise milestone. For the first time since the year the Brewers changed leagues back in 1998, the Brewers are back to 500 as a National League franchise. Adam, how much does that matter?
Well, yeah, I wrestled with that last night. I wrestled with even how much to write about it, because it doesn't matter to the current club. I mean, Bryce Terang, who got the winning hit last night, wasn't born the last time the Brewers were 500 as an NL club. And it has zero bearing on what they're trying to do this season, which is, win the division again and make a run for the World Series. But it is emblematic for me of how much the culture has changed here. And Terang described that last night. They're not playing well lately. Pat Murphy is very uneasy with the way the Brewers are playing. They're winning all these games, though. And they have developed this culture in which you just find ways to win. And it doesn't matter if it's pretty. It doesn't matter if the hits right now are not coming with runners in scoring position. They're getting enough pitching, enough defense, and the big hit when they need it, that they're in the middle of a winning road trip right now. And look, I'm old enough and grew up in the Milwaukee area. I'm old enough to remember when that is not what Brewers baseball was known for. That was not the culture around the Brewers. And that's why I think it was notable, is it was just kind of a reminder of, in the last decade or so, how much the mindset here has changed. And when players come in here, they know they're expected to play winning baseball. That's something that takes a long time to build, and the Brewers have built it.
Even though they're finding ways to win these games, Adam, and just this crazy stretch they're on right now, does it kind of feel like the guys are maybe racing a bit, just trying to get to that All-Star break to maybe get a little bit of a refresh?
Yeah, there's absolutely no doubt about that, because it is an everyday grind. And when you see those 4 days on the calendar, I mean, imagine what 1 day feels like to these players. Because often when they have off days on the schedule, they've just traveled in from someplace and you get in at 2 a.m. and then you have the off day, or there's a road trip next. So when there's an off day, the fan will see an off day on the calendar. For the Brewers, it might be you're reporting to the ballpark at 2 o'clock to get a workout in and then get on the charter to go wherever you're going next. So to have 4 days that are completely clear on the schedule, it looks like a month for the rest of us. And I think it is natural to really kind of limp to that finish line. But that's what they're trying to battle against. And they're trying to bring in some help. They got some taxi squad guys here today, Greg Jones and Easton McGee, a reliever. If they need to make some moves between games, they can. They're just trying to keep everybody healthy and as fresh as humanly possible to get to the finish. When you play 18 games in 17 days leading to the All-Star break, it's really hard to do that, but they're doing their best.
Adam, is the weather looking okay down in St. Louis for the rest of the day?
Oh, there's a window, Jessica. There's always a window.
But we got 2 games.
I'm standing, you can probably hear stuff happening. The freeways right here next to the stadium, the chopper going overhead. The sky's blue. It looks like a good day. And the Cardinals have 1 million lefties in the lineup against Jacob Mizorowski in Game 1. So Mizorowski has a chance to battle through that and set the tone and keep the pitching in good shape for today and the rest of the series.
All right. I just see a little bit. Neil said he was looking at it before, too, and was worried about maybe a pop-up storm. And so I took a look at the precipitation. Doesn't look like it's going to be this afternoon, but I don't know. 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock today. We'll keep our fingers crossed. It could be a fun day for baseball.
5 o'clock, 6 o'clock would be beautiful because we've got a split doubleheader. So we've got 1:15 and 6:45. So, hey, rain away at 5 o'clock.
There you go.
And then just clear up by 6:45.
That's the window for the storms, Mother Nature.
What no one else cares about, but I'll think you guys do, is this is the best press box in baseball for snacks. So we are well stocked upstairs for whatever happens today. So a little delay. We'll survive in the press box. I don't know how the players will be.
Okay. Press box is stocked and Adam McKelvey is caffeinated. That's Adam McKelvey at Brewers.com. Thanks so much. We appreciate it.
All right. Bye, guys.
Enjoy the doubleheader. It's 12:26 local news and top national headlines up next.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. Hey, reminder, it is summer storm season, and weather damage can be a real issue at the house. So if you think you've got a problem, remember, Tri-County Contracting gives free estimates on any potential wind or hail damage. And here's the best part, they can always work directly with your insurance. It's Tri-County Contracting, WI.com. Love your home again, even during the storm season, with Tri-County Contracting, WI.com.
And now about your house. It's where you live, but do you also live in your yard? My friends at Outdoor Living Unlimited help people extend their home, living beyond the wall. Your imagination may be somewhat limited, so let's call on Eric Brown, president of Outdoor Living Unlimited, to expand upon it.
I'm confident that 90% of the listeners can look outside their home and dream of a better, nicer, way more outstanding backyard. If you're one of the many, you'll need to call Outdoor Living Unlimited. Outdoor Living Unlimited's expert team can design a beautiful, functional, usable backyard space. Then our team can build it. You dream it, we build it. New deck, outdoor kitchen, pavers, retaining walls, screen room. How about a must-see automated pergola that doubles as a screen room? Picture this, a pergola that allows the sunlight through the slats, but with the press of a button, those slats close and now you have protection. Another press of the button and the screens roll down. There's your screen room. The ideas are endless. We recently built a brand new deck with a screen room pergola on top and stairs that lead to a paver oasis complete with a fire pit and seat walls. Amazing. New deck, outdoor kitchen, screen room, automated pergola. Let Outdoor Living Unlimited design and build the amazing backyard. Find us at OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
See all the cool things that Outdoor Living Unlimited can do for your yard on their Instagram page, or visit their unique outside-in showroom in Waukesha. And if you're looking outside of your home, dreaming of a more beautiful and functional, usable backyard, well, Outdoor Living Unlimited can design and build you an amazing showstopper of a deck, patio, complete with pergola and fire pit, just like they did for us. With expert care, Outdoor Living Unlimited installed a beautiful paver patio, complete with land and stone retaining wall, all sorts of space, room for a built-in kitchen, and complete with a gas fire pit. It's where we spend all of our time. Visit OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting WTMJ.com/contests.
That's WTMJ.com/contests.
The historic Fox and Hound Supper Club near Holy Hill is hiring experienced line cooks and dishwashers. You'll make real money. Night and weekend hours are required. Parents and grandparents, tell your kids. Inquire today, start next week. Google and call the Fox and Hounds today.
From large manufacturer to local pizza shop and every business in between, Summit Credit Union helps your vision take shape with loan programs, great rates, and strategic solutions. Whatever you're building, you've got this. And Summit Credit Union's got you.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Protect your family, your phone, and your furry friends with life, electronic device, and pet health insurance.
James Imaging Systems, your local document imaging partner. JamesImaging.com.
It's 12:30. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Tuesday, July 7th. I'm Jessica Ty. Your top story, identifying the woman shot by gunfire.
I'm Neil Doyle. A truck full of hope heading to Venezuela.
Sunny and warm today, high of 81 near the lake, 87 inland. Clear and nice tonight. We'll dip down to 67 for the low.
ABC News, I'm Wayne Cabot. Senator Bernie Sanders now says he just spoke with Maine Senate candidate Graham Plattner about the best path forward in light of what he called very serious allegations that Plattner raped a former girlfriend. Sanders recommended that Plattner step aside. Also today, Zoran Mamdani called for Plattner to drop out. The New York mayor now on the scene of a situation, falling bricks at the former Pfizer building, which is being turned into apartments. Support beams on the 21st and 22nd floors buckling, causing upper floors to start caving under the stress.
This is an existing 37-story building with active permits to convert it from a commercial office building to a residential building.
Evacuations underway now on Manhattan's east side, including in a Hampton Inn. More ships coming under fire today in the Strait of Hormuz. At least 3 hit by missiles, and right now oil is up about 3%. This is ABC News.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, we now know the identity of the woman killed in a shooting on Milwaukee's northwest side. The Milwaukee County Medical Examiner says it was 19-year-old Savannah Lynn who was hit by gunfire near 36th and Thurston on the 4th of July. Officers say a bystander started shooting into a crowd after a fist fight and Lynn was hit. She died right there at the scene, and her death has been ruled a homicide. Police are still trying to identify the shooter.
One person dead after being hit by a dump truck in Waukesha.
Southbound 164 north of Lonsdale, southbound 164 north of Lonsdale, dump truck versus pedestrian.
That audio courtesy of Broadcastify. The crash happened Monday afternoon near Highway 164 and Lonsdale Road. The pedestrian died at the scene. Waukesha County Sheriff's deputies are still investigating the crash.
Industrial zones are the hot spot for data centers in Milwaukee, but the large amount of area needed for those data centers is creating issues for citywide regulation. Alderwoman Marina Dmitrievich.
When we try to apply regulatory policy citywide, we are confronted with our very painful reality that not everything is equal in the city of Milwaukee. And therefore, there are some neighborhoods that have a disproportionate amount of industrial zones.
Milwaukee's ordinance on the regulation of data centers will likely go to the City Plan Commission on July 20th.
The Wisconsin Supreme Court siding with privacy advocates in a dispute over access to voter records. In a 5-2 ruling this morning, the court found that guardianship records used to determine whether someone is eligible to vote are confidential and cannot be released to the public. The lawsuit was brought by a conservative activist who was seeking the records to compare them to the state's voter rolls following the 2020 presidential election.
Cafe Corazon in Bayview will close its doors soon, laying off 26 workers.
A notice filed with the Wisconsin Department of Workforce Development says employees will lose their jobs anytime between September 1st and the 2 weeks that follow. The notice says the closure will be permanent, but did not give a closing date. The restaurant's Bayview location has been open since 2016. Cafe Corazon's other locations in River West and Brown Deer will remain open. Jen Gregg, WTMJ News.
Getting set for a Brewers doubleheader. Sports, traffic, weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 12:34.
The proof is in the pudding. Advertisers that hire us stick with us for years and years because they trust us, because we always promptly respond to customer needs, and because bottom line, we get results. Go to Anderson-Smith.com's Our Clients page to see who trusts us and check out a long list of real advertising success. Then hit the Contact Us button, email me, and I'll call you in short order. Because it's time we grew your business. Anderson-Smith.com. What's it going to cost to make it work? Wrong question. What you need to ask is, what do I have to do to make it work? What do I have to say so that I can truly set my business apart? That's why you call us. To make your ad budget give your message affordable repetition and to relay it in a powerful way to make sure folks remember your business first when their time of need arises. Go to Anderson-Smith.com, email me, and I'll call you ASAP. Because it's time we grew your business. Anderson-Smith.com.
The stories you're talking about on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Brandon Woodruff seems to be dealing with a dead arm again. Man, I just don't feel good about this.
Woody was so consistent in spring training with his messaging saying,
All I care about is being available at the end of the year. Maybe somebody else steps up in the meantime. Maybe a trade acquisition comes in, whatever it may be. But for the sake of Woody and for the sake of knowing what you got, it might be time to just kind of say, let's make sure you're ready for the end of the year.
Only here on WTMJ.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickert, owner of Wisconsin's own AccuNet Mortgage. I get that most home shoppers just go with their bank when it comes to getting pre-approved, but that's probably a mistake because banks have a lot of overhead like branches, fancy headquarters, and layers of management. That means their closing costs are typically $1,000 to $3,000 higher than AccuNet's for exactly the same rate. And that's not all. Bank pre-approval letters are usually weak and unconvincing, especially compared to AccuNet's rock-solid, fully verified pre-approval that provides a $2,000 guarantee to you and the seller. Our senior loan consultants will also look at every possible way to strengthen your offer and pre-approval in the eyes of that seller, especially if you're offering over the asking price. We even call the listing agent to reinforce what a great buyer you are. Banks don't do all that. Click on the blue button today at AccuNet.com and let our passionate mortgage pros help you win while you save a bunch of money too. That's ACCUNET.com.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. Let's play two today, doubleheader in St. Louis. But the Brewers making some moves this morning, calling up their number 4 prospect, 21-year-old Luis Lara, now on the active roster. Blake Perkins was optioned to Nashville. Robert Gasser also called up for today's doubleheader. He's expected to start game 2. For game number 1, Jacob Mizorowski on the mound at Busch Stadium. All of our coverage coming up here just momentarily on WTMJ. And in the World Cup, the U.S. out losing to Belgium, and currently Egypt up 2-0 on Argentina in the round of 16.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic. I have a new development for you, and it's a good one. The crash that we had at Capitol and Mayfair, it was on the corner right there at the gas station, basically. It was a mess. You had numerous emergency responders out there. At one point, I clocked in 3 different fire trucks. You had an ambulance out there. Hopefully the injuries are not too severe, but the good news is that crash is cleared. So that crash no longer out there at Capitol and Mayfair. Smooth sailing we have. We are hoping it's smooth sailing for the Milwaukee Brewers. They are about to get ready for a doubleheader. The temperature, very, very consistent, very similar. So we're looking at 80 degrees right now in Milwaukee. Down in St. Louis, Neil, 81 degrees. Mostly cloudy there, though. We've got mostly sunny skies.
Yeah, I prefer the sun. And let's just hope, again, I don't think the forecast should be a problem in St. Louis, but... Well, maybe later.
We asked Adam McKelvey, and he said there's always a window. Here's the thing. I just pulled up the National Weather Service because NOAA, they're always good with this. And I do see this afternoon there is a slight chance for thunderstorms down in St. Louis. Looks like a 20% chance.
All right. I think they'll be all right.
It means it could happen, though. Doubleheader. That's going to be a good one. Are you ready for this one?
It's going to be busy baseball. Yeah. Hopefully the Miz looks good here early. I know Adam said a lot of lefties in the lineup, and then, hopefully get through game 1 and pull off a winning game 2. Why not?
Yeah, and the Milwaukee Brewers, they made a significant decision with one of their top outfield prospects today. They promoted Luis Lara from AAA. A lot of people excited about that one. I know a lot of you are excited about Brewers baseball. We're going to get you out there to St. Louis. It is a doubleheader for the Milwaukee Brewers today. They're taking on the Cardinals. First game coming up at 1:15. Second game at 6:45 tonight. The best beat writer around, Adam McKelvey, told us he is caffeinated. He is ready. We hope you are too. Let's play ball.
Summer and baseball go hand in hand, and as a proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers, Carbless is helping fans swing into full flavor all season long. Whether you're at the ballpark, tailgating with friends, or catching the game from home, Carbless delivers bold flavor in a convenient canned cocktail that's ready wherever summer takes you. 0 carbs, 0 sugar, 100 calories, gluten-free and full of flavor. Carbless. Find your bliss near